Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. On our show today, we have Senator Tom Umberg to talk about, his service in the community and service for our country. Because November is a month of thanks. It's a month that we give thanks to our friends, our families, and our mentors who have given us so many opportunities to become successful. But most importantly, for us to give thanks to our veterans and servicemen and women who has given us so much freedom in this country today. Julie cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV trong chương trình Kiến thức, y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Hôm nay trong chương trình, Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với thượng nghị sĩ Tom Umberg. Hôm nay mình có thời gian làm quen với thượng nghị sĩ mà thêm nữa hiểu về công việc cổ trong cộng đồng Việt Nam của mình. Tháng 11 là một tháng tạ ơn. Mình tạ ơn cho mọi người, cho mình có cái tương lai về hạnh phúc giống ngày hôm nay. Mà cũng Julie muốn nhấn mạnh với quý vị là một cái năm tháng đây là một tạ ơn cho mỗi cái người veteran mà cho mình rất cái nhiều tự do trong cộng đồng của mình. Julie hy vọng có thời gian nói chuyện thêm với thượng nghị sĩ ngày hôm nay. Tom, thank you so much again for being a part of this month of thanks. For us to give thanks to all of our mentors and all the people has afforded us so many opportunities to be happy and to be successful and to be serving our community. But again, to recognize the contributions of our veterans. So I want to again recognize your contribution as a veteran, your wife's contribution, but also, so much that you've done as an elected official to represent our community. I work in the disability space, and I was so proud of our community last year. We increased our turnout from I think 50-something% to 60-something% of voters. So we represent over 17 million votes in the nation. And I just wanted to ask you, what does voting rights mean to you? Participation and engagement mean to you?
So I actually chaired the elections committee in a previous term. And I think another lesson we learned from the pandemic is that we can be more inclusive in how we conduct elections. Our last election, everybody got a mail-in ballot. And so for folks with disabilities or people that have limited English,
yes,
or for people that prefer to work their ballot at home where they can think about things, it's a great opportunity for them to be able to engage. And in fact, in November 2020, we had the highest turnout in any election we've had in California since 1952. That's even before I was born. And I think in some part was due to the fact that everybody got a ballot at home. And so to the extent that the community, Little Saigon and the Vietnamese American community, that they turned out to vote, really wonderful in important numbers, it makes their voice heard. And so in Sacramento and Washington, D.C., we recognize, hey, we've got to pay attention.
Yeah, and I thank you for recognizing the voice of our community and the power of our community, because I know the Vietnamese community is very engaged and they're very excited to be a part of the process. So thank you for being part of the voting committee. Julie cảm ơn quý vị. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với thượng nghị sĩ Tom Umberg. Tom chia sẻ với mình là cái công việc của Tom là một phần là nằm trong cái voting committee. Mình hy vọng giúp được cho rất nhiều người có bầu cử được. Tại trong 2020 Tom nói đó là một cái năm rất là đặc biệt. Cũng có so much voter turnout nhiều hơn 1952. Tại Julie thấy đó là trong công việc làm của Julie làm việc với nhiều người có khuyết tật, mình thấy là cũng có cái phần trăm số lượng mà bầu cử cũng cao hơn, ứng cử là cao hơn, là cũng là 50 mấy % tới 60 mấy %. Đó là người có khuyết tật đại diện cho 15 triệu người. Tom, I just wanted to share with you, I'm so proud to see my disability come out, to turn the vote too. But, I know before the commercial break, you mentioned about the Mendes case. And, when we talk about the Mendes case, I think a lot of people haven't, they heard Brown's versus Wade, but a lot of people don't know much about the Mendes case. I think for us as educators or people who work in disability and about equality, we understand it to be something of importance, because we're talking about, segregations in education. When I work in a disability space, we always say disability rights are civil rights. And I know a lot of people in disability still continue to struggle. Can you tell us about your understanding about the Mendes case and how that impacted education as a whole?
So we have a very rich history here in Little Saigon of advancing civil rights. So years ago, schools were segregated. White kids went to one school and those of another race went to a different school. So whether at that time there was a large number of Japanese Americans, a large number of Mexican Americans, they couldn't go to school with the white kids. And the white schools were better. They got more funding, they had better teachers, they had better opportunities. Completely unfair. And so here in Westminster, one family, the Mendes family, said that's not right. We're going to sue the school district to change that. And they sued the school district, and the California Supreme Court said, look it, separate can't be equal. So we're going to require that everyone be able to be educated together, not just the white kids getting a good education, but everybody. So as a consequence, the schools are integrated. But what that led to was a national decision called Brown versus Board of Education that required that schools not be segregated, that schools be integrated all over the country, so that African American kids in the South could go to school with white kids, as they should. And we're all richer for it. I mean, the diversity of our community makes us all much, much better. So the fact that my grandchildren go to school with kids from all areas, all socioeconomic levels, and all races, makes them better human beings.
Well, thank you so much for educating us about that, because you know it's just so great and so wonderful to see something that started in Westminster, in our hometown, in Little Saigon, affecting the national level of how education is provided. And you know, I think what you said also was, you know, when we understand diversity and we understand inclusion, we also are able to bring appropriate funding to help the community. Because if there are segregations, sometimes, you know, maybe the white schools got this funding and then the minority schools didn't get as much. So thank you for making sure that there is more equity in access in education for all of our kids. Thank you so much, Senator Umberg. Thưa quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Thượng nghị sĩ Tom Umberg. Thượng nghị sĩ Tom Umberg nói thêm về The Mendes case. The Mendes case, một cái case ở thành phố Westminster, là một gia đình họ kiện even at the Supreme Court để cho có một cái công bằng để cho học hành, để cho mọi em. Tom nói đó là chừng nào mình có cái tách rời về, you know, cái trường mà cho mấy người da trắng hoặc cái người minority thì có thể cái tiền chia phó ra đó nó không có công bằng. So một phần hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Tom Umberg, là Tom nói đó là diversity inclusion là rất là quan trọng. Quan trọng nhất là mình phải có một cái trường để cho con mình học hành với mỗi trẻ em khác, mà cũng thêm nữa là chừng nào có cái tiền chi phối để cho cho trường mình với gia đình của mình nó có cái công bằng phần đó. Tom, thank you so much. This gives us a great opportunity kind of to segue over the main reason why we're here today to talk about, you know, what you have been able to do and your team, not just you, but I know your team, your dedicated team that's able to help get the funding to Little Saigon. We're talking about $10 million set aside for the dual language immersion program. I know we're going to go to a commercial break quickly, but can you tell me a little bit, just to kind of get a little teaser for the community about what this budget means?
Well, what it means is that we are going to build on dual immersion, Vietnamese, English, dual immersion programs, so that our young people can preserve their language if they're native Vietnamese speakers, and also learn English to speak as well, if not better than native English speakers.
Yes.
And the important part of that is to provide opportunities for them, one, to preserve their culture, their language, their history, and to also help others who benefit from learning about Vietnamese culture, language, and history. It enriches all of us. And so, yes, we're fortunate to be able to get a $10 million set aside in the budget so that dual immersion programs can be enriched.
Well, thank you so much. And I like that what you said. It's an enrichment program for our community. That's a really nice way to put it, Senator Umberg. Thưa quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với thượng nghị sĩ Tom Umberg. Julie muốn nói cho quý vị biết là cái chương trình mà 10 triệu, đó là cái grant set aside for cái chương trình song ngữ. Đó là một cái chương trình là Senator Tom Umberg nói là cái enrichment program. Hy vọng cái chương trình đây sẽ giúp cho cộng đồng Việt Nam của mình tạo ra cho nhiều cái câu hỏi hơn cho mỗi người trong cái quận cam của mình với trong thế giới cũng hiểu cái tiếng nói của người Việt Nam của mình, hy vọng giữ được cái lịch sử của người Việt, cái văn hóa của người Việt Nam với thêm nữa cái tiếng về cái ngôn ngữ rất là quan trọng. Sau phần quảng cáo chúng tôi sẽ nói chi tiết thêm về chương trình đây. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV.